All right, this is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon, Flat Earth Homeland, Jersey's Woman of the Woods, Part 2. So that's all I'm going to cover on this one. This is just I just wanted to show that as a means of an example of what could be done, but most people are not going to be able to afford that. And another thing about it is you have it, okay, that's great, but it's big, it's heavy, it's bulky. And I want to show you a better solution, one that'll fit in the trunk of your car, a small car, and has multiple components and can do far more things than this one can do. Not as heavy weight, okay, granted, but so you make a few more trips. But okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is DIY. Could you build this thing? Man, even a good welder would have a lot of money into building that. Probably, you just start building that thing, and yeah, you can build it from scratch if you're a welder. But most people, for let's say someone to hire a welder to custom fabricate that, to match it quality-wise, would probably run about as much as those people are charging. So to me, it's not an option for a lot of people, for most people. Okay. That's okay. I don't care about. Okay, there we go. So here is in the DIY, something you can build yourself very easily for moving a lot of weight. For moving the same amount of weight, this thing will haul 500 pounds also on level ground. You don't want to go up too steep uphill or downhill unless you got a darn good brake system. But this is a thing a guy took, two just little mountain bikes, boy mountain bikes. They don't even match or anything, and just cobbled it all together. And I mean, did a fabulous job. When I say cobbled it, I'm just saying, redneck ingenuity, Afro-American ingenuity, presidential solutioning, whatever you want to call it. But used to be, you could say that. Thank heavens no more. But this guy built this from scratch, and I didn't use much to do it. Anybody could build one of these. I mean, literally anybody could build one of these. Okay, he's pulling into his cabin. The cabin is about a mile hike in. So he comes in with about 3 propane tanks, a big cooler full of food, his backpack, whatever else, tools and stuff that he's bringing in. There's a side view of it. You can see he just took little trick bites, whatever you want to call them, just single speed, bikes, and made a deck for it. He made a pulling system for it, and you'll get a better idea of that in a minute. So this is a way to haul a bunch of weight. Now, I want to take a little break here and say that in the scriptures, you have the observation of feast days 3 times: Passover, Pentecost, and Tabernacles at the end of the year. They basically are 3 harvests: the barley harvest, the wheat harvest, and then the end of the everything: grapes, olives, fruits, veggies, are all your final ingathering, your final big harvest, all symbolic of the spiritual realm and the kingdom of God. So point is that there's a guy, Mani Judah, who is a messianic type of leader, and he has ordered, or advised, shall we say, all of he gave his followers directives. Now, he's got a lot of people that listen to him. Let's say 5,000 people, I don't know. But he told them all to have a cart ready to take with them, so in case they get going on their trip, they can't continue by vehicle, they can then use their cart. Okay, so you have to have something that's going to fit in the car. This could be all 2-bike rack, the deck, all of that can be broken down into components. That the deck could be folded in half or thirds even. All of that would fit in a car, no problem. So, and then the idea is that if things break down in this country, you can walk. If you have to, you can walk to wherever you need to go. Now, conveniently enough, the Ozark Plateau is 500 miles from Canada. It's 500 miles from Mexico. It's 500 miles from the Rockies, which may be the new West Coast. And it's 500 miles from the Appalachians, which may be the new East Coast. It is in the center of the continental United States, Conus. I once mentioned that to a guy, Conus, and he was like, I've never heard of that. Is that in this country? It is this country. That was very cute. So there you have it. This would enable this guy to do what he wants everybody to do, to haul a good amount of weight, a good amount of supplies for a small family. So the other thing is that, now I heard about this from Pastor Joe Fox. So shout out to Pastor Joe. And again, Pastor Joe's the one that advised me to get on YouTube and do more with it. That's why I'm here. That's why you're listening to this. So Pastor Joe Fox, Viking Preparedness and Shofar Mountain down in Arkansas. He's in the Ozarks. He advises people to move to the Ozarks. He was a Special Forces. Well, you're never, probably like a Marine, there's no such thing as an ex-Marine. Fully capable of doing about anything that he could do back when, okay? So the point is that he advises people to move here. A lot of people are gathering around him. A lot of people are gathering around me here. I'm up in Missouri, Cedar County region. There's a pastor down by Dogwood, Missouri, Pastor Michael Peebles, who is an awesome man. In fact, I will just say one little blurb about him. I went to a meeting. It was entitled Kingdom Community. He got going. He was a little slow getting going, probably feeling his way with the audience, even though he knew everybody there pretty much. He'd been at meetings, music gatherings, and had spoken before. I knew who he was. I had no idea of the depth and the foresight and the magnitude of his mental capacities and vision. He got going, and all of a sudden I just burst out with, "Where did you come from?" And when the meeting was over, I said to two men there, one of them was my son, and one guy was the one that owned the house where we held the meeting. I said, "That is the first man I have ever talked to that has a brain." That's what I felt like. So anyway, fabulous man. Got to retouch the screen there to keep it from going black. So, yeah, the idea of walking. So Pastor Joe told me about this Monty Judah telling his followers to have a cart and supplies. But now Pastor Joe's comment was that pretty much the stuff that he was telling people to put on their cart was a bunch of junk. So that's unfortunate. Anything is better than nothing. But man, if you really need something, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And if you don't have it, and it's a difference between living and dying, you should have had it, really. So don't take some lay preacher's ideas on what to put on in your bug-out bag. Do some research. I have a new acronym, BYOR, bring your own research. BYOB, bring your own bottle, bring your own whatever. Bring your own research to the party. Don't just sit on your butt and let somebody else do your thinking for you, especially if they're not qualified to do your thinking for you. Do not, listen to just a preacher. Get online, do some study, look at YouTube, listen to some ex-military people especially. Even though some people are ex-military, that doesn't really mean anything. John Moore, who is in intelligence, military intelligence, he's solid. Okay, he's in the Ozarks. He's here. He advises people to move here to the Ozarks. However, on the other hand, you have James Wesley, Rawls, who it's unfortunate people listen to him. He's in Wyoming and, tri-state. He's in what I used to call the tri-states area, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. And that's his idea for the big, he calls it the readout states. Watch my series on that. I don't even want to get into it. All I'm saying is that there are some men who are doing other people's thinking for them, and they're not qualified to do that thinking. They're just flat not qualified. So Pastor Chuck Baldwin is up there throwing in his 2 cents worth and bringing his congregation up there. And it's extremely sad because they are, you know what, here's the thing. You need to have some kind of defense. Defense is a mountain range, it's a river, it's an ocean. Natural defenses, okay? There are 4 states in the continental United States that have no rivers as borders. One of them is Wyoming. Another one is Montana. One's Colorado. Okay, whatever. Nobody's saying move to Colorado. But and the other one's Utah. So 4 states. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. All right, so don't move there. Don't move to the redoubt states unless you have a lot of heavy weapons, a lot of military skills, and just a whole lot of money to get going and to do what you need to do up there. Be able to grow food in, very bad conditions. Not right now, but gonna be anyway. Watch my videos on that. About 13 videos, 14. They're not numbered properly, but there's a bunch of them on that, and they're all about the same time, so just listen to all of them there. So the moving carts, moving stuff, walking, it's 500 miles literally from the northwest corner of the Ozark Plateau. There's corners. It's a gigantic diamond. It was, I believe, at one point an almost perfect diamond. Been rounded off on the east by the Mississippi River changing course. But northwest corner to Canada is 500 miles, almost exactly on the nose. From the southwest corner to Mexico, 500 miles. From the western corner, 500 miles. And from the eastern corner to the Appalachians, 500 miles. So this cart here is a really cool little operation. So let's get into it. I want to give you more ideas on, or show you. Now, that site, that shot there, you could have a double deck on it, a second deck there. So you could have some heavier stuff on the bottom and then lighter baggage up on top, across, the crossbars right under your crotch where the seats are. You could have a second deck there. I went up. Okay, so here he's got it loaded, propane, 5-gallon buckets it looks like. No, that's a tub. Okay, a storage tub, and then his backpack and a cooler of food. So, and he says he can haul. And I have the right there the title, Martin's Cabin Part 10 Gear Cart or Bug Out Cart. Okay, so there you go. There's another view. That view from the side. So he just took the seats off, took the pedals off. Now here you can see a little bit better the mechanism. Where the handlebars were, he just put in a pipe that fit in there, put an elbow, short piece of plumbing, what they call a nipple in plumbing, about that 6 or 8 inch piece of pipe there, and that's a hose clamp. Get a better shot of that in a minute. A hose clamp and just hold it on. And this thing is all flexible, so he can go take sharp angles, and that steers the wheels with him, and they track really well with him. You'll notice that the tires aren't matching even. There's a close-up. Anybody could build this thing. Now, he has that plumbing strap to hold that on, and he has that rusty piece of metal, long piece of metal coming up over the bar here and then down, and you can see a screw there. This thing has been in use for a lot of years. That screw looks like it's about rusted, ready to fall off. So, but just simple. This is a beautiful, beautiful, think outside the box piece of work. Okay, now you can see to where he could take a real sharp turn with it. Real good turning radius. Another shot of it from the rear there. And you can see, it's just very minimal amount of work. You could do this whole thing with an angle grinder. Sawzall and an angle grinder and a drill and some bolts. Got a bucket there and a old big coffee pot. Oh my gosh, that thing is a huge old-fashioned enameled pot. So there you go. Now here there's an old tamarack tree out in the swamp, and it was dead, and so he wanted to cut it down and salvage it and use it for something and make something out of it. So he's making like footrests and stuff. So he slogged in there, and there's the 2 pieces that he came out with. I'm guessing 100 pounds a piece on that average. The tall one standing up is probably 200, and the other one might be 150. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of weight there. So he just went back in, got him, and slogged him out. Now here, Martin's Cabin Part 9A, Respect for a Very Old Tamarack Tree. The North Woodsman, 1. The North Woodsman 1, okay? And I'm going to stop there.